coached by Jeff Sabatino. And assistant coaches Mark Ostapowski, Colin Brinson, Jeremy Sasavec. And at this time, if you would please rise and remove your hats. We're playing for the national anthem.
The New York State Public High School Athletic Association requires officials to enforce all sportsmanship rules for athletes, coaches, and spectators. We will not tolerate negative statements or actions between opposing players, especially trash talking, taunting, or baiting of opponents. If such comments are heard or actions seen, a penalty will be assessed immediately. We've been instructed not to issue warnings. Let today's contest reflect mutual respect.
Good evening, Western New York High School sports fans, and welcome to WNYathletics.com for yet another high school sports matchup here in Section 6. Tonight, we are coming to you live from Cheektowaga High School for a C Central matchup between the JFK Bears and the Springville Griffins. John Simon here alongside Tom Prince, and it's been a short, quick, unusual April football season here in Western New York, and as the calendar turns to May, yes, we are ready for playoffs coming up this weekend, but we still have ourselves a big division clash here tonight between these two teams.
And I'll tell you, this JFK team is for real. There is no doubt about. Look at what they did last week alone in their big win, 52-0 over the Eden team, which was undefeated going into playing them. They've also have a 34-0 win over Gowanda. They have a loss, 26-14, that we did right here against Lackawanna, and then a huge loss that they had to Akron, which was 55-0 right there. And then as far as Springville goes, Springville, first big win comes last week. It comes big as they win 24-14 over Alden. They've lost 36-18 to Lackawanna, 25-6 to Casadega Valley, 36-18 to Eden, and 46-0 to CSP, which just about everybody in Western New York has lost to it for those numbers right there.
So JFK kicking off to Springville to start this one. The Griffins in the white uniforms with yellow pants, and there to return the kick for Springville is Alex Elkins. He's brought down just short of the Griffins' 30, and that will bring their offense to the field for the first time. Of course, you see the Bears in the all blacks with the gold tops, and there we saw a nice kick from senior kicker Caitlin Gobliski.
Yeah, we talked to her about the last time we saw her. She's got a boot. She's been very good for this JFK team.
And that'll give Springville a starting spot. They mark them right at their own 30 to begin this drive. First and 10. We're going to see a pass over the middle. It's complete. That one reeled in by Elkins, who had the kickoff return, and that's a nice throw on first and 10 for Thomas Orndorff, the junior quarterback for Springville. Orndorff also listed as a free safety, but brings up 2nd and 3 Going to be a handoff now on the run there. Nolan Longbine, and he's able to get across the first down marker and move the chains for Springville. Longbine also a junior for this Griffins team, as Tom said, coming in 1-4 overall, but have a league record of 1-2 this year. Of course, having that big win come last week. 1st and 10, and we get another run there for Longbine, and looks like he got about 9 on that one. Gets Springville right around midfield. Griffin's offense coming off of a nice week last week against Alden, as Tom mentioned, scored 24 points, a season high total for them in the victory.
So I think that's Baker that's running the ball. Colton Baker, number 28. It's tough to see on the numbers here. We apologize, you guys.
Yeah, 2nd and 10. A run up the middle there. And that is Baker on that one. And that'll move the chains for Springville.
Colton Baker's their starting running back. Listen to this one, right? He's the son of the assistant coach John Baker and brother of Ian Baker, who holds the rushing records here at Springville.
And that's going to be Nolan Longbine on that carry. And he picks up a few yards there before being met by quite a few Bears. And that cuts the yards to get a 1st and half. It'll bring up 2nd and 5. Longbine on that reverse there.
Remember back, his brother was a Conley Cup finalist when he played.
And now we get a little bit of a wildcat here. Elkin's going to hand it off to Baker, but he doesn't get much on that short run to the left side. So that'll bring up 3rd down.
Hey, and you know who has to be the most famous alumni in Springville to us.
Oh, well, of course.
Come on, everyone knows Harry Skull out there. That's going to be one of the most famous there is out there. I wish he was right here taking the photographs because you know he'd be here.
Oh, absolutely.
I love when Harry's out here. You know it's a big game when he's around.
3rd and 5 for the Griffins. They're going to run it. And up the middle there goes Baker. He gets the 1st down before getting pushed back a little bit, but that forward progress is going to give him the 1st. And Baker, junior running back, getting a couple nice carries so far in this one. Springville moving the ball well on their first drive. They're now at the JFK 26, it looks like. Orndorff drops back, tucks it. He's going to run it himself. He got met by a lineman there and gets brought down. Maybe got half a yard on that run.
Like Eric Wagner, number 71 on the tackle, the senior defensive end, 6'1", 220-pounder.
Yeah, one of the bigger guys on that JFK defensive line, although they really have got a noticeable size advantage on that Springville offensive line. But so far, the Griffins guys up front doing a nice job, assisting the run game. 2nd and 10, we got flags thrown just as the ball snapped. Baker gets the carry there and gets back to the line of scrimmage, but we'll see what the penalty call is.
Prell and Di Pasquale got in there quick. And it's going to be a false start.
Yeah, so that'll back the Griffins up 5 yards. Still have already done a pretty nice job on this opening series. Already taken 3.5 minutes off the clock with this first possession and are well into JFK territory.
Moving the ball well, and I
Yeah.
also like the pace, right? It's a quick pace they're going at also.
Yeah, this is the first negative play that they've had in this drive, and it was, of course, due to a penalty. 2nd and 15, Wildcat formation again, and Elkin's going to try and run with it, but he's really got nowhere to go. The JFK defensive line doing a nice job plugging up that left side.
Same 2 guys on that one. Did you see that? Prell and Di Pasquale, both the same guys get in there.
Yeah, sometimes you've got those guys, if they're just those defensive players that just got a nose for the ball. I mean, what was it? There was our guy from South Park last week who recovered 3 fumbles in one game.
And it was like, it seemed to be that's the only time we called them is when it was on a fumble.
So some of those guys, they got a nose for making tackles, other guy a nose for recovering fumbles, but it's a loss of 1 for Springville on that play. So 3rd and 16, he finds Wilkins over the middle, or Elkins, with that pass. going to be short of the first, but that'll bring up 4th and manageable for the Griffins. And Tom, with how this first drive has gone, you got to imagine Springville going to keep their offense on the field here.
Oh, 100%, absolutely. And you have to go for it, unless you've got somebody that is your field goal kicker. But like I said, we haven't seen that many times. You'll laugh. You know when I've seen the most field goal attempts so far in a game? A JV Orchard Park game, a kick 3 field goals by the third quarter.
Yeah, that's impressive. Maybe they should get that leg up to varsity for the playoffs. 4th and 2 here. It's going to be a give for Elkins, and he able to get the first down there. A nice run, shedded the first tackler, and gets enough to move the chains.
And doing a great job right now of taking time off the clock. Take a look at this.
Yeah.
We're already 6:48 left inside the first quarter. This is what Springville want to do. They want to control the clock. Because I'll tell you, that we know the JFK offense can put points up on the board. This is how you keep an offense off the field, though.
So 1st and 10 from the Kennedy 17. They're going to hand it off to Baker. He's able to get through the first tackler, but then is tripped up. Nice play by Deep Pasquale to stay with him. Was able to get a hand around his foot and just trip him up. And they're going to mark it as a gain of about 2. So I'll bring up 2nd and 8 for the Griffins. Springville doing a nice job of mixing in the pass and the run so far. Orndorff with a couple of completions. Got 3 receivers on his right side, but he's going to hand it off, and immediately stopped there was Baker. A huge tackle by Zach Holdsworth. I believe that was number 27 at JFK.
Yep, that's exactly what I thought it was, too. Boy, he got in there quick.
And he's doing the crop top jersey rope. It's not a warm day out there, so that's one of the tougher guys out on the field if he's just willing to expose his bare stomach.
I don't know. I came up here. I was pretty hot walking up and down these stands.
That's true. Once you're out and moving, you definitely feel it. 3rd and 8. Float pass to the end zone is complete. And that is a Springville touchdown. Orndorff with the great pass there to Austin Boys in the back of the end zone. And that gives the Griffins a 6-0 lead here with 5:23 to go in the first.
I thought he used his body really well on that. Did you see? He just did it where he could keep distance away from the defender as the ball comes back. It wasn't a push-off. He just used it to be able to guide and does a great job there offensively to help him get the right spot to make the catch.
That'll bring on the 2-point conversion here for Springville. Going to be a direct snap to Elkins, and he gets stopped short of the plane. So JFK comes away with the stop there, limiting the damage to 6. But a successful opening drive gives the Griffins a 1-score lead here in the first.
And over 6 minutes taken off the clock right there is exactly what you thought. Springville mapped it out before the game even started.
So that'll make it 6-0 Griffins. 5:23 to go in the first quarter here. We'll see the JFK offense come out for the first time. And Tom, as you mentioned, they can put up some points this year. After losing their first 2 games, their last 2 games have both been shutout victories, and they scored 52 against Eden North Collins last week, as you said, and then 34 against Gowanda Pine Valley the game prior.
Yeah, like I said, and I'll tell you, this Springville team you're seeing getting better and better and better. And what have you talked about? Junior, right? So you're talking about a young team along the way there at the same time. We didn't have a lot of practice. You didn't have a lot of games. This is big as these guys, most of these were playing JV the year before. They're getting their experience, and you see it as the season's going on, getting better, and better.
So fresh off the touchdown catch there, Boys kicking it off and unable to handle it back deep was Deep Pasquale to roll into the JFK end zone for a touchback.
Got a question for you. Do you know where Pop Warner football began?
Where it began?
Yeah.
I mean, is it in Springville, New York?
You got it. That's
Right.
exactly where it started. It is known, Pop Warner football known throughout the United States, right? It began in Springville, and in fact, they've got some fundraisers coming up in Springville that are right around, but Pop Warner football is a Springville tradition.
How about that? You learn something new every day, and you find out what great history we got here in Western New York. We got some movement on the line from Springville on 1st and 10. That'll help the Bears offense before they even run their first play. And yeah, that's surprising. I mean, I had a feeling it was either, Cheektowaga or Springville. I wasn't going to guess like Georgia or Ohio or anything like that, but man, that's pretty cool. I never knew that. Well,
and if you see a lot of things going on right now on Facebook, there's a lot of different promotions and different things that they're going to do right now, and some have to do with their alcohol involved, so I don't want to do a big promotion about it, but I mean, there's some great things happening.
Big 1st and 5 carry there, and running ahead with that one was Holdsworth. Got the direct snap and took it up for about gain of 8, excuse me. And that'll move the chains for JFK. And they got Adam Lewandowski, junior quarterback, in there leading their huddle. Got 3 receivers to his left. And he's going to hand it off here. It's bobbled. But with the carry is Santino Aramini. Draws a couple flags before being brought down to the turf. So we'll see what the run there amounts to after the penalties. But Aramini with a very physical first carry.
So, folks, I just apologize. I saw that we had a problem with the camera. We are up and running. You've got the camera right now, so you can see the game. We apologize. We had a little blip with the camera right there, but we are up and running.
Yeah, still, working through technical issues. We've had those all throughout the season, but, we're making it work. We've brought plenty of high school football action to all you Section 6 fans throughout the spring, and we can't wait, of course, to bring playoff coverage the next 2 weekends. Got some big matchups coming up later this week. And then, of course, we got, spring sports. I would say right around the corner, but baseball and lacrosse started yesterday for Section 6 schools.
As you see, I also started doing my interviews as I make my rounds through Western New York, as we'll be covering baseball. Like everybody knows I'll be out there. Did our first 2 interviews and did one today.
So the penalties push JFK back 10 yards. It'll be 1st and 20. And they get it out to Aramini. He's able to get a couple yards back. But this will still be 2nd and long. As Springville trying to take advantage of this flag and keep JFK pushed back in their own end. Springville making some changes. And that ended up being only a gain of 1 for Aramini. Aramini, senior running back, also listed as a quarterback for JFK. Saw him taking some throws and warm-ups along with Lewandowski. Lewandowski in the shotgun here on 2nd and 9. Going to hand it off. It's Aramini again, but he's going to be dropped for a loss. Springville getting their defensive front in there quick. And I think it was Elijah Jones, number 23, one of the first guys in there for the tackle. So now we get a whistle on the field. Going to be a timeout called by JFK, and their offense is going to have to talk things over as they got a big 3rd and 22 coming up with 3:49 to go here in the first. So the first, and we'll take a quick break. Be right back for more action here on WNY Athletics.
At Chiro First Wellness, your health and well-being is our passion. Let us take care of you and your family like one of our own.
Chiro First Wellness Center is dedicated to providing patients long-term relief and teaching them how to continue taking care of themselves. With a blend of different techniques, services, and personalized treatment plans, we'll help you find wellness in a way that's right for you. Between chiropractic care, spinal decompression, nutritional counseling, massage therapy, custom orthotics, and more, your relief is in our hands. If twisting, popping, and cracking intimidate you, our Pro Adjuster restores the same range of motion as a physical adjustment would with gentle, repeated tapping.
Dr. Moak.
We're back, WNYathletics.com, coming to you live from Cheektowaga for JFK versus Springville. 3rd and 22 for the Bears here. We're going to see Aramini try it out at quarterback. He's able to shake his first defender, but then he's brought down. And what a nice play by Elijah Jones. Got juked to the turf and then managed to stay with the play and came up with the tackle there. So that'll bring up 4th and very long for JFK, assuming we'll see a punt from the Bears here.
Yeah, especially down in this territory, no doubt about it. But, boy, have you seen Springville is up for this game. They are here to play, and what they are drawing out before the game is exactly what's happening out on the field.
Yeah, they ran a good, 6.5 minutes off the clock with their first possession, and now they have JFK giving it up with just a little over 2 minutes having the ball. Bears get a nice punt away. They'll down it at the Springville 42, but that is still a pretty favorable spot for this Griffin offense to come back out onto the field with, trying to follow up on that first drive in which they finished with the touchdown.
This is great field position right here, and you'll see what Springville can do. If they can keep taking the time off the clock, boy, this could be a great advantage right now that Springville takes into possibly the second quarter.
Yeah, they've got only 2:57 to go in this first. I mean, if they repeat what they did on their opening drive, they could take this possession well into the second quarter. But on 1st and 10, we're going to get a handoff to Baker, and he's able to muscle his way through the line there and pick up about 5 or 6. They'll give him 5 on that one. So make it 2nd and 5. Orndorff in the shotgun, takes a snap, hands it off though. It's Baker trying to go up the right side this time, and he gets a couple yards before being brought down, and that'll bring up 3rd and short for Springville. Just depends on how short, we'll see. But Baker doing a nice job in the run game so far. Has gotten really only positive yards on all of his carries. Orndorff also completed a number of passes on the first drive, including a 17-yard touchdown, which gave Springville the 6-0 lead. Got some movement on the line now, and I think that'll be against the Bears. So that will give Springville the automatic first down on the encroachment. I know it's still early. Got about 1 minute and 50 left in the first quarter, but already down 6. Don't want to start taking penalties if you're the Kennedy defense. 1st and 10, handoff to Baker again. Stutter steps for a moment, and now he's got a nice hole. Able to pick up another 10 or so there, and once again move the chains for the Griffins. So it was the mix of the pass and the run on their opening drive, but on this second series for Springville, they don't even need to put the ball in the air. They've just put it in Baker's hands and have gotten nothing but positive yards since.
And controlling the clock. That's really the key. What you're doing is keeping a potent offense off the field is what they're doing.
Yeah, and their defense did a nice job holding them on their first drive. Now a ball floated up there, and it's picked off. Intercepted by Bryce Firkins of JFK. It was a jump ball for a moment. The receiver and the defensive back both went up for it. It looked like they both came down with it as well, but it ends up being the pick as Firkins came away with the ball.
You really couldn't tell who had come down with it until Firkins comes up and shows us right there. Both guys had an opportunity to catch that. What a great job, though, as Firkins comes down with it. But again, now you see a little bit why they were running the ball the way they were, right? You keep running the ball. They were controlling the game is exactly what they were doing right there. And the question now, does a turnover breathe life into JFK? That's what we've yet to find out.
Yeah, this JFK offense is going to have a long way to go. If they want to tie this thing up or take the lead, they're going to start this drive at their own 12. See Lewandowski back in at quarterback. Going to hand it off there. And able to move up ahead for a few yards once again is Aramini. Aramini listed at 5'7", 165, but definitely has a lot of speed out there. Inside a minute to play in this first quarter. There's a gain of 3 on that play. Clock running. JFK can definitely get one, if not two plays off before the quarter's end if they so choose. Going to be 2nd and 7 from the Bears' 15. Lewandowski remaining in the shotgun. And it's going to be a handoff. That one to Holdsworth, and he runs up ahead for a first down and then gets driven into the turf. But that'll be a nice gain for a first down. And now with the chain set, the clock will start running again, and we'll see if the Bears run one more play in the quarter. It appears that they will not. They will switch the fields, get the winds at their backs, and that'll do it for the first. Through 12 minutes, the visiting Springville Griffins, lead JFK 6-0. We'll take a quick break and be right back for second quarter action here on WNY Athletics.
Are you in pain from a no-fault car accident? Don't wait. Call RES Physical Medicine and Rehab today and take advantage of our 24 to 48-hour appointment pledge. One of our medical professionals will see you within 48 hours. RES offers DXD imaging for a more accurate diagnosis in less time. This allows our doctors to coordinate the most effective treatment plan to get you on your way to recovery faster. Feel better with RES Physical Medicine and Rehab. Click or call today to learn more.
At Chiro First Wellness, your health and well-being is our passion. Let us take care of you and your family like one of our own.
Chiro First Wellness Center is dedicated to providing patients long-term relief and teaching them how to continue taking care of themselves. With a blend of different techniques, services, and personalized treatment plans, we'll help you find wellness in a way that's right for you. Between chiropractic care, spinal decompression, nutritional counseling, massage therapy, custom orthotics, and more, your relief is in our hands. If twisting, popping, and cracking intimidate you, our Pro Adjuster restores the same range of motion as a physical adjustment would with gentle, repeated tapping.
Dr. Mo at Chiro First has been taking care of my back needs for the past 4 years. His staff treats you like family. I've had the traction, I've had the massage done, and every time leave here feeling.
Are you in pain from a no-fault car accident? Don't
Coming to
wait.
you live from Cheektowaga for today's Section 6 Class C matchup between JFK and Springville. Start of the second quarter, JFK with the ball, and another nice run there for Santino Aramini, able to move the sticks for the Bears as they are trying to get on the board here, down 6-0 as we start the second quarter here against Springville.
Well, coming out with the same mentality that Springville did, right? Running the ball right now and running with efficacy as you see them going for first downs right here, doing it through the run.
And, JFK, as I mentioned at the end of the first quarter, they just got the ball with about 2.5 minutes to play in the first, and they didn't run too many plays, but, the one thing that they do have is now changing the fields in the second quarter. They've got the wind blowing at their backs. So for a team that likes to throw the ball a little bit, that should certainly help them, not having the wind blowing towards them instead of blowing with them. So I'll bring up 1st and 10 from their own 40. Handoff here to Pace. And he's able to break one tackle but can't get through the second as he's brought down there by Longbine of Springville. But nice pickup of about 3 there for the senior Jaden Pace. First time we've seen him get a touch today.
But I'll tell you, I really like what we're seeing from the Springville team. It just shows they're getting better and better as this season went on. And I'm telling you, just listen to some, you just see all over their roster. 11, 10, 11, 12, 10, 12, 12, 11, 12, 11, 11, 10, 11, 10, 11, right? You can see there are way more underclassmen than there are seniors out there, which just shows if Coach keeps doing his system, getting these younger kids more and more involved, they're going to be there next year and the years to come.
Yeah, both these teams really, could have gotten more from this year's teams if they were given a longer season. 2nd and 8 here. Going to be a handoff to Di Pasquale. And he's able to shift his way through up for gain of about 3. And actually, that was still Pace on the carry there. Tough to tell the difference between the numbers when they got their jerseys rolled all the way up to their shoulders.
Baker does a good job on the tackle right there as he actually does a great job of an open field tackle right there to make this 3rd and 5. which is manageable for JFK, but at the same time, an opportunity for Springville to make a big stop.
And what a huge stop it would be for Springville if they're able to keep, JFK relatively quiet through 2 offensive possessions. And we're already 9:30 till halftime in this one. 3rd and 5. Taking the snap, hands it off, and immediately snuffed out there was Holdsworth. A trio of Griffins get in there to stop him, and that'll be a loss of about 5. It'll bring up 4th and 10. So it looks like the Bears will punt this one away. Alex Elkins back to return for Springville. He's at the Griffins' 35. Aramini going to punt for JFK. Gets a pretty decent kickoff. That'll land and take a nice bounce for the Bears, and this will be spotted right at the Springville 25. So, a little bit more of a better drive than the first one for JFK, but they still didn't get over the 50. However, this time they give Springville a much tougher starting spot. The Griffins started their last drive at their own 42. Now they'll be at their own 30, but still looking to add on to this 6-point lead. Didn't see Orndorff throw the ball too much on their second drive, despite having a couple completions, including the touchdown on his first. 1st and 10 here. We're going to get a run for Longbine. He's off to the right side, finds a nice hole, gets out across the 45, and is eventually brought down around midfield. But that's about 25-yard gain for Longbine. And this Springville offense continuing to find success in the run game.
But I'll tell you, it's because of the line. You've seen the line open up these holes for these guys and doing a fantastic job of opening up holes so that they can run the ball the way they are.
Longbine now at the bottom of your screen at wide receiver. Colton Baker in the backfield behind Orndorff. He's going to get the carry on 1st and 10 here. Flag gets thrown, but Baker able to get some space on the outside, and then he gets hit as he's going out of bounds. That'll draw another flag, and we'll see what the 2 penalty calls are now here, although we're pretty sure we know the second.
They're going to offset each other. I think you're going to see the first one to go against Springville that you saw, and it was actually a block that happened right as he had the pay past him. And then right here in the sideline that you're going to see is that one. I think they're going to cancel each other out.
Well, that's a huge break for JFK because Springville would have gotten an extra 15 with that penalty if there was no penalty against the Griffins first. So, as you said, he'll offset and they'll replay 1st and 10 here.
We've been talking about the line play right now. You realize one of the members, let's look at number 55 right now on the line. He's on our side of the line. Max Perry, freshman. Freshman on that offensive line that's helping open up those holes right now. It just shows the future right now is bright in Springville.
Under 8 minutes to play until halftime. Springville at their own 49, going to hand it to Baker. Ran into a one tackler, and now he's met by a wall of Bears. They'll bring him down for a big loss. Not too big, about 3-4 yards, but that's one of the few negative offensive plays we've seen from Springville so far in this one. Of course, credit to JFK on that one.
A couple times we've seen, especially when DePasquale and also Prell get into that backfield. When they get in there, they can cause havoc when they get into that backfield quick.
So they mark it only as a loss of 3 at 2nd and 13. Going to hand it to Elkins. Tries to get out wide to the right, gets right to the 50, and then gets whistled down. That'll bring up 3rd and 10, or around there for Springville. Seen a lot of different players get touches so far for the Springville offense. And, that's what you got to do when, you're a team with a smaller roster numbers-wise. Got to get a lot of guys involved. Guys got to play on both sides of the ball, rotate guys in and out because they'll get tired if they stay in the whole game. 3rd and 9, Orndorff throwing it over the middle, and that one just a little too high for Longbine. Might have been a bit behind him as well. And that'll bring up 4th down, and it appears that Springville will be punting as they're rotating out a few players. But we'll see. They're at the 50-yard line or right around it. But it appears they're going to play it relatively conservative here. Baker back to punt. JFK's got 3 guys back deep to return. And Baker's punt's pretty high. It's going to be returned right from the 25 and dropped instantly. It was deep Pasquale. So nice special teams coverage there by Springville. That'll get the Bears offense back on the field. They'll start at their own 27.
No, I think it was Elkins that was on that one right there.
Yeah, I think so too. He was one of the first guys coming off the field from that play.
Just now, I mean, that's great when you see somebody then come up big on special teams, especially after being a running back and doing everything that's necessary to help your team win. That's a big play right there. Elkins comes up big. And I like the fact that they kicked it off, because what they're doing is they have not given JFK good field position yet, and they're keeping it that way by punting.
This JFK offense going to need 73 yards here if they want to get into the end zone. Going to be a run on first down for Pace, and he's got some space along the right side, crosses midfield, almost gets inside the Springville 40, and they will actually mark him right there. So a nice run there for Jaden Pace, getting JFK into the Griffins' end of the field for the first time tonight.
Great block there by number 22, Michael Zeltman. It happened almost right in front of us, right after the 50-yard line. His block got an extra 10 yards on the end of that run. That's a blocking wide receiver coming out, doing his job, helping his team run the ball. That's big. And sometimes those little things aren't really talked about by players out in the field. They're only in the film room, but that's big. That's absolutely helped his running back.
So this JFK offense starting to come alive now. Lewandowski fakes the handoff, rolls to his left, looks to throw, gets a pass away and completes it. Matt Mergenhagen makes the catch. He's still on his feet, cuts back to the inside, and is finally brought down inside the 10. But Matt Mergenhagen with a big catch and run there to put JFK within goal distance range. Or goal line range, I should say. Looks like they'll mark this at the Springville 8. It'll be first and goal as we're midway through the second quarter. And it's going to be a direct snap. This one carried by Zeltman, and he runs right through the middle and past the goal line for a JFK touchdown. The 8-yard run from Zeltman, the junior running back, has tied this thing up at 6. And now the Bears gonna
go, I think, for 2.
Yeah, I wouldn't be huddling up for an extra point, I assume. So we'll see what look they give on the 2-point conversion. Of course, Springville was unsuccessful on their 2-point attempt back in the first quarter. So we'll see if JFK can take their first lead. Lewandowski hands it off. Aramini jukes his first defender, tries to get back to the inside. He does, but gets brought down before getting to the end zone. So no 2 points there, and Springville able to come away with this knowing it's still tied.
You know, we talk about this in multiple games, but will special teams be what wins or loses this game, right? When you have both teams going for 2-point conversions, you could be talking about whoever stops or gets the 2-point conversion may be the one who actually wins or loses this game.
Yeah, no, I was thinking that I was going to make that same comment right before JFK went. You know, this could be a deciding factor early on. It could be, like you said, the first team to get a 2-point conversion or stop a 2-point conversion. It could come down to something like that. And, you know, special teams, we thought Springville had a nice punt a few minutes ago. You know, they pinned JFK back somewhat deep in their own end, but the Bears offense finally starting to pick things up, and they drove down the field pretty quick to even things up here at 6. But that'll bring us to the kickoff. Golubiski, her second boot of the night, is going to be returned from the 25. And JFK not going to let that get much further as they bring down Longbine inside the 30.
That had just a little bit more air on that. That was actually going to get down pretty deep in that field. Just a little too much of a line drive. Otherwise, if that had a little air, that was going to get some distance and go over the head.
Yeah, I was going to say Longby made a nice play to catch that and hang on to it because I was coming in quick. And like you said, though, a bit more air on that, a bit more height, and that was going to get all the way to the end zone. 1st and 10, and that's going to be a run for Baker, but he doesn't get far. As Aramini, one of the first ones in there for JFK.
But this is a time where now we knew JFK was going to answer. We knew it was coming. We knew they had the offense. They've done it now. Now Springville's got to get back to do what they did on that original drive. Take time off the clock. Keep the offense off the field. Keep their offense on.
No gain on that first play, so it's 2nd and 10. Orndorff throws, and he's picked off. It's intercepted by Lucas Gang, and he's got nobody in front of him. No flags on the field, and that is a pick-6 touchdown for the Bears.
That you saw as he was throwing that. You saw that that was dangerous right there. And big pickoff right there as you see Gang comes up big right there for that interception. He now gives the momentum, the team, everything right into JFK's hands. Great job right there as he read that play.
Lucas Gang, just a sophomore for this JFK team, but comes up with the big interception there. Gives them their first lead. It's 12-6, and they'll now look to extend with the 2-point conversion here. And that's one of those tough plays for Orndorff where he was getting tackled, just wanted to make a play, saw an open receiver, but Gang seemingly just falling from the clouds and picking that one off.
Just floated in the air, too, which was a perfect spot to be able to get picked off.
Now they're going to hand this one off and able to run right through the middle and into the end zone is Deep Pasquale, and that will make it 14-6, JFK in the lead.
That's a big momentum shift right there. As you really felt that this was a give-and-take game that was happening right there. Big turnover, and all of a sudden it completely changed the momentum.
Yeah, 14 points for JFK in less than a minute. You know, they scored 2 touchdowns in this 5-minute mark. The first one at 5:56, the next at 5:09. And like you said, the momentum in this game has completely swung in the Bears' favor. But all it takes, Tom, is just one successful drive for Springville. It takes them just, getting the running game back going and keeping that JFK offense off the field. That worked for them in the first quarter. And they know that that's just what they got to do is get back to that. So we will see another Bears kickoff. Golubiski with another one. It's going to land inside the 20, but it's going to be taken up by Elkins. And now he's got some space to run across the 50. Now gets inside the 40 to the 30, 20, inside the 10, and he will go all the way for a touchdown. What an answer by Springville. They give up a pick-6 and drive it right back down on the kickoff. And they are just a successful 2-point conversion away from knotting this thing back up.
And who comes up big again?
Yeah, Mr. Elkins.
We've been saying his name, and he has been big today as he really picked Springville up. We said it, one play. One play can have momentum. Now the question is, can Springville convert this? Because now we go back to our conversation. Special teams becomes the key.
Yeah, they definitely need this 2-point conversion to really, put an exclamation point on that kickoff. It's going to be a direct snap to Elkins. Now he looks to throw, and it's picked off in the end zone. And the defensive back immediately went down, so that'll end the play.
That's an old play Tebow used to do at Florida, right? Run right up to the line and kind of jump and find his guy right there is what he was looking to do.
It was Jaden Pace that was able to get up there and defend that pass, basically turn it into an interception, incompletion, whatever. So that stops the bleeding a little bit for JFK, and they, Tom, can come away somewhat satisfied with that. Like, yeah, we gave up the kick return touchdown, but we're still ahead, and we get our offense back on the field.
With more than enough time to do something right here, as we've still got 4:57 left inside this first half, second quarter. But, boy, we were talking about how Springville was controlling the clock. Everything took over 6 minutes in that first drive. And we really thought that was what they were trying to do. And then, bam, what do we see? Explosion, explosion, explosion on the last couple plays right now that we've seen both from JFK and Springville.
Yeah, I mean, we had only 6 points scored in this game up until 6 minutes to go here in this second quarter. And now we've got 3 touchdowns in the last minute of game time. Now we're going to get a return here and up across midfield with it is DePasquale. Or not midfield, excuse me, gets past the 40 with it. And that'll give JFK a good starting spot with their offense coming back onto the field. They will begin this drive from their own 42.
And that was a tackle by number 85, David Jeninga.
And Springville, their defense was off to a good start in this game. They forced a 3-and-out from JFK on the Bears' first possession, then kept them from getting across the 50 on the second. But since the clock has shifted over to the second quarter here, this Bears offense has found its groove. First and 10. Lewandowski rolling to his left. Looking for an open man. Is able to get rid of one, but it's incomplete. Looking for, it was Pace again along the sideline. And that'll bring up second and 10.
A lot of time there. You can't give him that much time, right? He's eventually going to find an open man if you give him that much time. And it just looked like he was setting, trying to find that open man and almost got him.
Well, the weather's been strange, not strange, but just different so far in this game. When we got here, it was somewhat cloudy, a little windy, still kind of humid. Then the sun was starting to peek through, but now it's looking like it's starting to get dark again. But the wind's still at the back of this JFK offense. Second and 10. And it's going to be a handoff, that one, to Zeltman, and he runs it up the middle for a big gain. Picks up about 13, maybe 14 or 15 on that one. And that'll move the sticks and get the Bears into Springville territory once again.
And probably broke at least 3 to 4 tackles to get to that point right there, too.
And Zeltman already with 1 touchdown in this game. It was the only offensive touchdown for JFK. An 8-yard run on their last drive. And they've had a lot of guys get carries so far in this one. Zeltman, Holdsworth, DePasquale, Aramini. Mentioned Lewandowski's, good with using his legs. Inside 4 minutes till halftime in this one. First and 10 for JFK from the Springville 45. Lewandowski going to hand it off there to Pace, but he's wrapped up, tries to get away from the defender, and now the rest of the Springville defense going to get in there and help. And that'll drop Jaden Pace for a loss of about 5.
I was actually surprised they didn't call the whistle before then because it looked like you saw that gang coming, and really that's when the shot really can happen or someone really can get hit hard just because they're held up at that point. But good job right there of Springville to actually get the tackle and be able to get it for a loss right here. Now, can JFK answer again?
Yeah, and just with the way that the first defender was grabbing his leg, he's jumping around, twisting around. The last thing you want is for somebody to get injured. But second and 15, they're going to hand it off to Aramini, and he's dropped right away as Springville able to stop that run attempt. And I believe the first one there for that tackle was Zachary Huey, senior defensive lineman. And that'll be a timeout. I believe it was JFK that called it. I didn't see which side of the field the official signaled to, but it'll be a 3rd and 15 coming up for the Bears with 3:02 till halftime in this one. And that, could be a big play. JFK is set to receive the kick to start the second halftime. So if they can run enough time off this clock and then get a touchdown with little time left, I think that's, the best case scenario right now for the Bears.
Yeah, absolutely. But, this is probably one of their longest drives they've had so far when you think about it. They've had so many quick strikes right here. It just shows what they're capable of doing out there. But still, taking time off the clock, this is still big for Springville right here. Mm-hmm. A stop right here, you could easily get the ball back and get it back with decent field position pending on what JFK does. Do they go for it? Do they not? But is there a chance Springville still has enough time to answer?
We see Aramini alone in the shotgun. He's taken a few snaps at quarterback tonight. had 3 receivers on his right side. He's going to throw to the right, but it's dropped by Lewandowski. And that's an error that the Bears are going to want to get back because that one was right in his chest. And, Tom, that's one of those situations where they wouldn't have gotten the first down, but they would have gotten some nice yards to help them in what could have been, a go-for-it situation on 4th.
But you never know. I mean, we've seen guys break tackles here all day, right?
Very
Both
true.
teams have done it. So who knows what happens after the catch.
Yeah, and get the ball in the playmaker's hands, and these guys have made plays. But that'll bring up 4th and 15. And Springville does have Baker back to return the punt. Aramini will punt it away. And that'll land right around the 25, take a decent bounce for JFK. And they will down it around the Springville 22. So like Tom said, this Griffin offense getting back onto the field with pretty good amount of time to get themselves into the end zone and take the lead back before the midway break. They got the first touchdown of the game back in the first quarter on a 17-yard pass from Thomas Orndorff to Austin Boys. And then, of course, their last score was the 80-yard kick return from Alex Elkins. So it's 14-12. JFK leads 1st and 10 from their own 23 for Springville.
Oof.
Baker gets the run and the ball's popped out. It looks like the Bears have it. And the officials rule a JFK ball, another turnover for Springville. Those are really starting to hurt them here in the first half, Tom.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about, now it's Aramini who comes up with that, by the way, as he comes up big again. So, absolutely, you're talking about one was a turnover that goes for a touchdown, right? The drive that we're going down that was the interception as they were driving again, and now you're going to give them the ball right here. You said it, 3 turnovers, which are big. 1 to stop momentum, 1 for a score, and 1 that puts them in field position for a score.
Yeah, 2 interceptions and a fumble so far in this first half have really hurt the Springville offense. And that puts JFK in a great spot. That basically negated the punt, Tom. That was basically just giving the offense 15 yards and then letting them keep going. Now we have Aramini on 1st and 10. A lot of space to run on the left side. He picks up about a dozen or more on that one. And that gets JFK inside the Springville 15.
Boy, you could see he's into this game. You could just see how excited he's been about everything. Even the pass he threw that was dropped over here, he must have jumped about 3-4 feet into the air because he really wanted that one. It just shows how much he's into this game.
So we'll spot this at the Springville 14. JFK looking to extend their 2-point lead before halftime. Lewandowski hands it off, and right up the middle again goes Zeltman. And he picks up a decent chunk of yards on that one. Gets inside the 10.
As we're coming up here on the 2-minute mark, we're not far away right here.
As I mentioned, Springville started the game with the ball and drove down the field in 6.5 minutes to get their first touchdown. But they will need to get a big stop here if they want to keep this a 1-score game. 2-point conversion pending before halftime. 1:55 and counting to play until the break. 2nd and 5 from the Springville 9 for JFK. Lewandowski takes the snap. Flags are thrown, and that'll stop the play. It's going to be a false start, and that'll back Kennedy up 5 yards. And that's a nice break there for the Springville defense. Gives them a little bit more breathing room as they have quickly found themselves in a not necessarily a goal line stand situation, but they really got to protect that end zone here before halftime.
Yeah, especially like we said, it's been this momentum shift both ways, but the 3 turnovers right now, or 2 turnovers, have been costly. The third, the question is, will the third be costly here too?
So 2nd and 10 from the 14. Lewandowski going to hand this one off. It's Pace looking for some room. He doesn't find it as he's brought down there. And now we get a timeout call by Springville. So that will allow them to talk a few things over as we got a big 3rd down coming up for both sides.
So as everybody knows, this is the finish of technically the winter season. I'm sorry, the fall season is what this is, even though it's been feeling like it's been fall and winter this whole time.
Right.
Well, we are finishing the fall season. We'll have the first round of playoffs this weekend, then the finals the weekend after. As we are going here, spring sports have now started. We can see out here. The track team is out here at Cheektowaga going and doing their thing at the track. We see the softball team on the other side doing their thing. I was at Maryville today to do the interviews for baseball. We are now alive in the spring as well, as both sports right now, one finishing and one beginning. And remember, it's been 2 years since we've seen baseball and the spring sports take their shot in their opportunity out on the field.
Yeah, it's been a very long time. Hopefully, for such a long wait for baseball, lacrosse, track and field, all those guys and girls to get back on the field. Hopefully some actual spring weather, comes with the start of the spring season. But 3rd and 8 from Springville 12 for JFK. They're going to hand it off at Zeltman again, and he finds some running room. One more guy to beat, and he gets into the end zone for the Bears touchdown. Zeltman, his second of the night, this one from 12 yards out, and that pushes the JFK lead back to 8. They're up 20-12.
Big stop right here for Springville, and also a big opportunity now for JFK, because right now it's still a one-score game. A 2-point conversion can automatically now turn this into 2 different scores.
Yeah, that would certainly make things much, much tougher on Springville going into the second half.
Especially with JFK getting the ball, too.
Yeah, that offense could elect to go the Springville in the first quarter route and burn some clock in the third quarter and really take that 2-score lead into the final frame. 2-point conversion here for the Bears. They hand it off, and able to get in there is Di Pasquale, and that is a big 2 points for JFK. It boosts their lead to 10, as it is 22-12. Bears in front with a little over a minute to play until halftime.
Think about it. That's a huge opportunity for me, because now you could come out, as long as you stop Springville here with 1:13 left. What do you got to do, right? You can actually come out, score. If you do 8 again, you could be talking about an 18-point lead just coming out early in the third quarter. That's what that swing right there did, and that's a turnover that now becomes very costly to Springville.
Yeah, that's one of their 3 in the first half. Of course, one was a pick-6 return. The other led to this touchdown. And that was, of course, the last one was a fumble. And then there was another interception as well that thwarted a nice Springville drive. JFK going to keep this kickoff low as it's inside the 35. And it looks like it was fielded by Springville's Longbine. And he must have had a knee on the turf when he fielded it.
When he fielded it, there was a knee on the ground. And in high school sports, when that knee touches the ground, period, they do not have to be hit, they do not have to be tagged, they do not have to be touched. It is down right there in the spot.
So that'll put Springville at their own 32 to start this drive. They've got 1 minute and 11 seconds to make something happen before halftime. Of course, they can make something happen now. It might not lead into points, but points is, of course, what I was referring to. Orndorff on 1st and 10, going to air it out, trying to go down the field, and that one nearly intercepted. Jaden Pace was the one that had the best shot at bringing that pass in. Of course, he's in the defensive backfield for JFK, but that lands incomplete. Springville catches another break. Done that more than once so far. Say Springfield instead of Springville. I don't watch The Simpsons that often. I haven't read anything on the Basketball Hall of Fame recently. I have no idea why Field instead of Ville is coming out. 2nd and 10, and that's going to be a run for Baker as he's able to push the pack ahead for a few yards. Seen some nice sportsmanship so far in this one, Tom. Both, players from both sides helping their opponents up after tackles, giving each other props that, with a little bit less intensity of this kind of being just a fun end of the regular season game, might lead to the guys just being happy to be out there. 34 seconds and counting to play. They're going to hand this one off to Longbine. He's got some space around the right side with a nice block and gets forced out of bounds around the 40. But Longbine with a nice carry there get Springfield, or there it is again, Springville on the JFK side of the field.
Big run right there. The question is, does Springville have enough time right now to try to put this in the end zone? Are they going to have to go to the air here a little bit to try to get this in the end zone? That'll be what we're going to wait and find out.
Yeah, on Springville's first drive, Orndorff, completed a couple of passes, including one for a touchdown, but since then hasn't found much success through the air there. He gets a short one off to Longbind, but that doesn't really get much, maybe a yard, and he's tackled inbounds. That'll force the Griffins to call a timeout.
DePasquale, great tackle there in the open field, goes right to the legs right there, makes a big tackle right there. Does a good job as not letting him get to the sidelines, not letting him stop the clock, and now it's a timeout that Springville's got to take there to stop the clock.
I believe that Springville, after this timeout, has one left. Yeah, don't quote me on that because we don't have an official count, but I believe they only have one left. So you have to think now, they're at the 39 of JFK. We saw Orndorff throw it down the field before it was nearly intercepted. Of course, now, Tom, the 3 turnovers in the first half aside, I don't think you'd really mind if your quarterback, going for a touchdown here if he just so happens to get picked off in the end zone to end the half. I mean, that's just one of those, it is what it is. You want to take the shot here, I think, either way.
Oh, absolutely. You just want to make sure that they can't return it forever, how long it is. But absolutely, I think you got to go for it.
And
you're also down, right? You're down.
Right.
You're going for another win against a really good team. Go for it.
And you're not getting the ball to start the second half either, so you want to get something here. Orndorff throwing that one high and just able to get a hand on it was Elkins, and that might have kept it from being intercepted. Lewandowski was there in somewhat decent position, but the ball ended up landing just a few feet away from him. So I'll bring up 3rd and 10, 14 seconds to play till halftime. And I was going to say before, the JFK defense certainly prepared for the deep ball. They've got both Aramini and Pace well off the line of scrimmage, about 20 yards away from it. 3rd and 10. Orndorff takes the snap, has time to throw, and now he's going to look to run it, and he's got to get down. They do bring him down, and that's going to keep the clock running, though. Springville not going to use a timeout. They might not have any left, and that will bring us to halftime. So I must have been wrong with my count. They must have been out of timeouts. Figured they would have called it there, but that'll bring us to halftime through 24 minutes here at Cheektowaga. JFK leads Springville 22-12. We'll take a quick break at halftime and be back for 3rd and 4th quarter action. Stay tuned here on WNY Athletics.
300 Level Media is a locally owned and operated multi-purpose media company right here in Western New York. You'll find us everywhere covering the Bills, Sabres, Buttes, Bisons, Big Four basketball, local college sports, and much more. Our staff offers a variety of media services, from video production, live event coverage, audio broadcasts, professional voiceovers, camera operation, and videography. Visit www.300levelmedia.com or give us a call at 716-427-2600. This is 300 Level Media.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com, ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. A few clicks will show you the sales price you can expect for your home. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. So if it's time to sell your home, visit howardhanna.com today, and we'll match you with a local Howard Hanna agent to sell your home fast.
At Chiro First Wellness, your health and well-being is our passion. Let us take care of you and your family like one of our own.
Chiro First Wellness Center is dedicated to providing patients long-term relief and teaching them how to continue taking care of themselves. With a blend of different techniques, services, and personalized treatment plans, we'll help you find wellness in a way that's right for you. Between chiropractic care, spinal decompression, nutritional counseling, massage therapy, custom orthotics, and more, your relief is in our hands. If twisting, popping, and cracking intimidate you, our Pro Adjuster restores the same range of motion as a physical adjustment would with gentle, repeated tapping.
Dr. Mo at Chiro First has been taking care of my back needs for the past 4 years. His staff treats you like family. I've had the traction, I've had the massage done, and every time leave here feeling fresh and brand new.
Chiro First Wellness Center. Your health and well-being, our passion.
Call 835-WOLF. Remember, you calling the wolf. That's all you had to say. Call today.
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? To defy age? Or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do? Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
Are you in pain from a no-fault car accident? Don't wait. Call RES Physical Medicine and Rehab today and take advantage of our 24 to 48-hour appointment pledge. One of our medical professionals will see you within 48 hours. RES offers DXD imaging for a more accurate diagnosis in less time. This allows our doctors to coordinate the most effective treatment plan to get you on your way to recovery faster. Feel better with RES Physical Medicine and Rehab. Click or call today to learn more.
There's nothing better than owning the perfect house to come home to. You've earned it, and we'll make it happen. Our local real estate experts and in-house team of financial professionals make buying or selling your home simple. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs. WNYathletics.com is the premier high school sports website in Western New York, providing the best sports coverage of Section 6 and Monsignor Martin leagues. Check out our page for daily game recaps and late-breaking sports news. Our online scoreboards are updated in real time. Never miss a goal or touchdown. Visit WNYathletics.com today or follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube.
300 Level Media is a locally owned and operated multi-purpose media company right here in Western New York. You'll find us everywhere covering the Bills, Sabres, Buttes, Bisons, Big Four basketball, local college sports, and much more. Our staff offers a variety of media services, from video production, live event coverage, audio broadcasts, professional voiceovers, camera operation, and videography. Visit www.300levelmedia.com or give us a call at 716-427-2600. This is 300 Level Media.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com, ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. A few clicks will show you the sales price you can expect for your home. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. So if it's time to sell your home, visit howardhanna.com today, and we'll match you with a local Howard Hanna agent to sell your home fast.
At Chiro First Wellness, your health and well-being is our passion. Let us take care of you and your family like one of our own.
Chiro First Wellness Center is dedicated to providing patients long-term relief and teaching them how to continue taking care of themselves. With a blend of different techniques, services, and personalized treatment plans, we'll help you find wellness in a way that's right for you. Between Chiropractic Care, Spinal Decompression, nutritional counseling, massage therapy, custom orthotics, and more, your relief is in our hands. If twisting, popping, and cracking intimidate you, our Pro Adjuster restores the same range of motion as a physical adjustment would with gentle, repeated tapping.
Dr. Mo at Chiro First has been taking care of my back needs for the past 4 years. His staff treats you like family. I've had the traction, I've had the massage done, and every time leave here feeling fresh and brand new.
Chiro First Wellness Center. Your health and well-being, our passion.
Call 835-WOLF. Remember, you calling the wolf, that's all you had to say. Call today.
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? To defy age? Or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do? Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
Are you in pain from a no-fault car accident? Don't wait. Call RES Physical Medicine and Rehab today and take advantage of our 24 to 48-hour appointment pledge. One of our medical professionals will see you within 48 hours. RES offers DXD imaging for a more accurate diagnosis in less time. This allows our doctors to coordinate the most effective treatment plan to get you on your way to recovery faster. Feel better with RES Physical Medicine and Rehab. Click or call today to learn more.
There's nothing better than owning the perfect house to come home to. You've earned it, and we'll make it happen. Our local real estate experts and in-house team of financial professionals make buying or selling your home simple. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs. WNYathletics.com is the premier high school sports website in Western New York, providing the best sports coverage of Section 6 and Monsignor Martin leagues. Check out our page for daily game recaps and late-breaking sports news. Our online scoreboards are updated in real time. Never miss a goal or touchdown. Visit WNYathletics.com today or follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube.
At Chiro First Wellness, your health and well-being is our passion. Let us take care of you and your family like one of our own.
Chiro First Wellness Center is dedicated to providing patients long-term relief and teaching them how to continue taking care of themselves. With a blend of different techniques, services, and personalized treatment plans, we'll help you find wellness in a way that's right for you. Between chiropractic care, spinal decompression, nutritional counseling, massage therapy, custom orthotics, and more, your relief is in our hands. If twisting, popping, and cracking intimidate you, our Pro Adjuster restores the same range of motion as a physical adjustment would with gentle, repeated tapping.
Dr. Mo at Chiro First has been taking care of my back needs for the past 4 years. His staff treats you like family. I've had the traction, I've had the massage done, and every time leave here feeling fresh and brand new.
Chiro First Wellness Center. Your health and well-being, our passion.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com, ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. A few clicks will show you the sales price you can expect for your home. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. So if it's time to sell your home, visit howardhanna.com today, and we'll match you with a local Howard Hanna agent to sell your home fast.
I love being home.
Are you in pain from a no-fault car accident? Don't wait. Call RES Physical Medicine and Rehab today and take advantage of our 24 to 48-hour appointment pledge. One of our medical professionals will see you within 48 hours. RES offers DXD imaging for a more accurate diagnosis in less time. This allows our doctors to coordinate the most effective treatment plan to get you on your way to recovery faster. Feel better with RES Physical Medicine and Rehab. Click or call today to learn more.
WNYathletics.com is the premier high school sports website in Western New York, providing the best sports coverage of Section 6 and Monsignor Martin leagues. Check out our page for daily game recaps and late-breaking sports news. Our online scoreboards are updated in real time. Never miss a goal or touchdown. Visit WNYathletics.com today or follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube.
Welcome back to WNYathletics.com. John Simon, Tom Prince coming to you live from Cheektowaga High School for tonight's Section 6 high school football matchup. We are just about ready for second half action between JFK and Springville in this C Central matchup as we are about ready to start quarter number 3. JFK in the lead 22-12, coming off of what was a huge second quarter for the Bears. They scored 3 touchdowns and are in relative control of this game as they're ready to receive this second half kick.
Yeah, remember, Springville had a 6-0 lead in this game.
And back to return for the Bears is DePasquale, going to take this from the JFK 15, gets out past the 30, then breaks a few past the 35. He's still on his feet across the 50, and DePasquale finally tripped up and brought down inside the 40. And we've talked about special teams starting to play more and more of a role in this game, Tom, and right there, the Bears strike with another big return.
Absolutely. What an opportunity right there. You saw DePasquale punch the ground, too. He wanted that one, I'll tell you that. He absolutely wanted that one. But we've seen almost – how many times do you get to see one return in a game?
Yeah.
We almost get a chance to see 2.
Yeah, we saw back in the second quarter, Alex Elkins took an 80-yard return to the house for Springville. And right there, DePasquale was really just one defender away from breaking off a 80-plus yard run of his own. But JFK going to start this drive at the Springville 38, and on 1st and 10, it's a run up the middle for Zeltman. He's picking up big yards. Gets right around the Springville 15 before being brought down, but that's a gain of about 20.
Zeltman, his runs after first contact has been really good today. You can see he'll take the first hit, keep the legs moving, and we've seen him get 5, 10, 15 yards after his first hit. That is showing a running back being strong out there.
Yeah, Zeltman's only listed at 5'10", 165, so not the biggest guy. I mean, we see running backs around Western New York that got, 80 to 100 pounds on him, but he's out there running like he's 210, 220.
Absolutely.
Got tacklers bouncing off him all over the place, picking up big yards. It's got JFK in a great spot. 1st and 10 from the 17. Now we're going to see a carry for Aramini, and he's forced out of bounds there for no gain. And that, I believe, was Baker again. The nice defense on the outside.
Yeah, when you get to that far side of the field, sometimes the yellow numbers are tough for us to pick up. So that's why you got to give us a second sometimes to tell you the number right there. But this is a big stop right here, defensive stop right here for Springville. Springville's got to make sure no more points get put up on the board. Like we talked about when that score comes. That could be right now an 18-point lead that can happen when it was a 2-point lead for JFK could turn into. So this has got to be a stop so Springville gets a chance to try to put points on the board.
Lewandowski takes the snap, hands it to Aramini, and he's tripped up immediately. Don't think he even made it back to the line of scrimmage there. That'll bring up 3rd and long.
And on that was Elijah Jones on the stop right there, the junior defensive lineman.
Jones making a nice play to make it a loss of 1. And just about a minute and 20 seconds gone by in the third quarter here, as this is still technically a regular season matchup, though, even though the regular season, for the most part, wrapped up last week. We've been talking about the upcoming postseason matchups later this week and weekend. 3rd and 11, Lewandowski going to swing that one out. It's completed to Pace, and he's able to run ahead, gets met by a few tacklers, and we'll see if he got enough for the first down. He was tackled just inside the 10 of Springville, but they needed to get to the 8, and that'll bring up 4th down, and it looks like 1. So JFK, they're going to need a big 1 yard here. Quick snap. And it's going to be Zeltman. And he's able to move up. And did he get all the way in for the score? He did. He stayed on his feet and got in for the touchdown. So what a night so far for Michael Zeltman, his third touchdown run of the game. And Tom, just a moment ago, you talked about the power, the strength that he runs with. No better example than that last one right there.
Yep, never stop the legs, keeps moving, absorbs contact, does all the things you want your running back to do. Great job right there. As now we're talking, like we just said, if they convert this, an 18-point lead, and it was 6-0 lead for Springville and a 14-12 lead for JFK at one point. So you're really talking about right now 14 unanswered.
And this JFK offense getting into the end zone efficiently needed just 2 minutes and 14 seconds to extend their lead here in the second half. However, they won't get the 2 points. Aramini forced out of bounds there, so Springville able to come away from this first drive on defense with a little bit of a silver lining.
You know, we haven't really talked about the Central Division here, but boy, if we would have had a full year, it would have been a very cloudy division as to what's happened. So Eden will go on to the playoffs at 4-1 in the division, okay? You have right now at 3-1 who couldn't get in another game was Lackawanna. Now, Lackawanna does have a loss to Eden. So their one loss is to Eden. Now, JFK comes up, and as we talked about earlier, has a huge win over Eden right there.
Yeah.
Right? But a loss to Lackawanna in the beginning of the season. If JFK gets to play all their games, and then you're talking about Lackawanna finishing right there, you could have been talking about a possible three-way tie for that Eden, with the Eden in that entire Central Division.
Yeah, and that would
to where tiebreakers would have come into play and everything, because it would have been Eden with a loss to JFK, JFK with a loss to Lackawanna, Lackawanna with a loss to Eden. So it would have been a mess up top because you couldn't do head-to-head then.
Right.
Very, very interesting as what if we would have had an entire year, how it could have played out.
Yeah, I think that's a lot to unpack there. 1st and 10 for Springville from their own 32. It's Elkins on the carry, and he gets dropped for no gain there. And going back for just the kickoff for a moment, you know, we talked earlier in the broadcast about Caitlin Golubiski. Right there, Tom, I just saw her kick the ball off on its side. Like, it wasn't on the tee. It was placed, you know, long ways on its side. It was a little bit of a squib kick, Springville to fall on, but I haven't seen that, you know,
We've
very
seen it
often.
a couple times this year already. We see it when teams want to do that squib kick.
I have not seen anybody set the ball up like that, though, at least not in person, but she executed it well, and Springville now going to look at a 3rd and 8 here as they only got one on that carry.
And on that tackle was Lucas Gang on that tackle for JFK.
Gang, of course, had a big touchdown early in this one. It was the go-ahead score for JFK, a 30-yard interception return back in the second quarter. Gave them a 14-6 lead with the 2-point conversion. 3rd and 7 here. They're going to hand it off to Baker. Looks to get some running room, but he's brought down by the duo there of Zeltman and Aramini. And number 6 in black, as Tom said earlier, he's pumped up about this one, and he's very lively after that stop.
I think we got to get the Conley Cup phone ringing here, because Zeltman has been unbelievable. Whether it's been defense or offense today, he has turned it on.
And that's a quick 3-and-out for Springville after the JFK touchdown. Griffin's going to have to punt again here. And that one going to land out of bounds just around the Bears' 40. And that'll bring Lewandowski and the rest of the JFK offense back onto the field. Again, a short break for them, just a couple minutes of rest time with the Springville offense going 3-and-out.
Yeah, so here's a little fun fact for everybody, right? So we know right now Pioneer has had a great season. Unfortunately, they were put on pause, and because of that are not going to be able to compete in the playoffs. And they had a good chance of going after a sectional championship. Now the link. The last time Springville won a state championship in 1996 was under Jim Dupre, father of Pioneer head coach Jim Dupre Jr.
Look at that. We're getting in all sorts of interesting notes on Springville tonight. Old coaches, history of the program,
But listen,
Pop
I'm going
Warner.
to tell you guys right now, you know where my source is. All the credit in the world goes to Harry Skull. You know how much I love that guy, and he's helped me out tremendously to prepare for this one.
Takes the best pictures, gives us the best scoops, all the love in the world to one of our good friends, Harry Skull. 1st and 10 carry there. It's Zeltman again, able to pick up 5 on that run. And, you know, we talked about the success that Springville found in the first quarter, in some of the first half, but really in the first quarter of, you know, just keeping the ball on the ground, running time off the clock, possessing the ball, controlling possession of the game. I think now, Tom, with a 16-point lead and a quarter and a half or so to play, we're going to start seeing that strategy from JFK.
Yeah, right now the clock is their friend,
Yeah,
right? It
100%.
really is. So they've got to do everything they can to just keep knocking it down and taking more and more off of it.
2nd and 5 from their own 45. Lewandowski handing off to Aramini, bounces through it for a couple tacklers, got by the first one and then was brought down. And again, it was Jones able to trip him up there before a couple more defenders came in to help. That'll make it 3rd and manageable. It was a gain of 2 for Aramini. So JFK will need 3 yards to get the first here.
Tell you, we see the lights starting to come on, but here, because now you've got the other sports, right? Baseball we see out on the track area. You can play here a little bit later with these lights all over the fields.
3rd and 3, it's going to be a direct snap to Zeltman, and he gets the first down and then some. Able to be brought down right around the Springville 45, and he just continues to do it on the ground for JFK. A big night with already 3 touchdowns and another first down carry.
And carried about 5 more on that one, showing the strength and that he has at running back and what he's done so far today. Pushing the pile, yards after catch or yards after run, yards after initial contact. He's done it all. He really has.
So that'll be 1st and 10 from the Springville 46, nearing the halfway point of this 3rd quarter. JFK looking to improve to 3-2 overall on the season. Lewandowski rolling out to his left, now has to go back to the right. He's got some room to run and is able to pick up a good chunk of yards there before being forced down. And that'll bring up 2nd and short, but another nice run for the quarterback. We've seen him, you know, pick up yards with his legs quite a few times tonight.
Does a good job there, too, of actually finding the open space there. You can see as he cuts back, turns around, does everything right there, but really finds that open lane to be able to get positive yards.
It'll be 2nd and 2 for the Bears coming up here. As I mentioned, they're looking to improve to 3-2 on the season, would be 3-1 in the C Central Division. As long as this score stands, or, you know, they come out with a win. Nearing 5 minutes to play in the quarter. 2nd and 2 to go. Receiver in motion for Lewandowski. Takes the snap, and he's going to hand it to Aramini, but he's brought down for a loss. A nice play there. And once again, it's Elijah Jones. Not the biggest guy on that Springville defensive line, but he's been making a ton of plays in this quarter.
But I'm going to tell you, I really wish today you'd see those character athlete awards out there today, because you've talked about it. I'm seeing tons of sportsmanship. Did you just see Zeltman out there come up to Jones? I mean, that truly is. You are right now having by far the best game out there on the field, and what are you doing? You're congratulating someone on the other team. Great job. Help them up. Do all the right things. Boy, class act sportsmanship. One of the top players out there is doing it all today.
Right, and the game's not over yet. Like, it's a 16-point game. It's not like JFK is up 30 or 40 here, and they're just, you know, taking a little pity on Springville. As we get a bad snap on 3rd and 8 there. Lewandowski just going to have to fall on it. But, yeah, we've seen the sportsmanship, you know, from the get-go here. And I don't know if it's, you know, like we said, a rescheduled game. Neither of these teams are in the playoffs. They're just happy to still be playing. Or, you know, these guys are just, you know, genuinely good guys, and I hope it's both of those things.
Well, I'm going to call it, it's just class act, right? And that goes a lot to do not only with the players out on the field, it's with those both coaching staffs at the same time, right? Coach Sabatino, Coach Cater, it just shows the impact you're having on every one of these kids. Great job out there, because it's really showing out there on the field.
Yeah, it's been a relatively clean game, too. just had one penalty for hitting a player out of bounds, but I think it was unintended.
Oh, no way. Absolutely was. He was shocked, in fact, when he came off. He was like, wait a second, there was a flag thrown?
And
he had no idea.
And thinking back to it was Zeltman that got the penalty, so you know with the sportsmanship him showing there that he didn't mean to hit the guy after he went out of bounds. But we get a punt there from Aramini. Springville's offense going to start around their own 30. As we said, they're trying to get back in this game down 16.
And can make it a one-score game right here, right? That's the key. They got to get down and turn this into a one-score game.
They got their wildcat formation here with Elkins at quarterback. He's going to hand it off, and it doesn't look like they're going to get much of a gain there. The pack might have moved up a yard, but that was a gain of, like I said, only about 1 for Baker. So it'll be second, and they'll mark it 7, so he picked up 3. And they're going to feed Baker again. Goes up the middle and pushes the pack ahead for another couple yards. So this was kind of where Springville found their success in the first quarter. They were able to drive down the field, mostly handing the ball off to Baker and then a little bit to Elkins, and now it's getting them a couple positive plays. 2.5 to play in the third quarter. 3rd and 3 for Springville. Again, it's Baker, and he takes up the middle for the first down, and now he's got room to run. Gets around the tackler and gets brought down inside the JFK 40. But just as we said, this Springville offense starting to come alive again.
By the run. Back to the run. Back to what started this whole thing. Great tackle. Could have saved a touchdown there with number 12, Bryce Firkins right there. Could right now have saved that touchdown. As you saw, he comes out there and just goes right through the hole. And again, give credit to that offensive line right there of Springville for opening the hole.
Got a timeout called on the field. It'll be 1st and 10 for Springville from the 39. But as you mentioned a moment ago, Firkins with the big touchdown-saving tackle. Had an interception in the first half, too. And that's the other thing, Tom, for the Springville offense. They're finding success in the run game again. And with that, they're not throwing the ball because, they had 2 interceptions in the first half, 3 turnovers overall. So that's a nice plus for their offense, finding some consistency again, not really worrying about, throwing the ball in those turnovers.
Well, remember, even on that first drive, they did throw the ball.
Yeah.
It wasn't that they didn't. But what it was it seemed like it was a mix-in of there where you weren't expecting when they were going to throw it, right? That's the difference right there. Instead of putting yourself into certain downs where you have to throw it, and then that's when you've got your D-backs, cornerbacks, and safeties all right now keying in what you're doing to be able to go after that ball.
Well, both teams back out on the field out of the timeout. And Springville looks like they got Austin Boys at quarterback. He was on the receiving end of their first touchdown. It's a direct snap to Boys, and he runs it ahead for a couple yards there. Interesting play call, but still effective.
But again, positive movement, right? You're actually, think about it. You want 2-3 yards. I mean, if you can get that and did that just about every play, you'd be really good.
And they got 2 on that one. 2nd and 8, 1:45 and counting to go here in the third. Handoff, it's going to be Longbine. And got a couple there. Before being brought down, they'll bring up 3rd down.
And have you noticed it's not one running back here, right? It's someone constantly different running the ball. You're not keying on to a certain style or a certain way of running the ball. Multiple guys are running the ball in this system.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of runs from Baker, but some from Longbine, some from Elkins. Got 3rd and 6 here. Going to be Baker on that carry, and he's brought down. Deep Pasquale able to get in front of him there.
So it looks like you're going to have about a 4th and 4. They're absolutely going to go for this. I mean, they're down in the zone where you would. Yeah. Now the question becomes, though, do you go to a pass? I mean, 4 yards is a long run right here, but what are you looking to do differently? And it looks like they're going to go to that wildcat format right here.
So Elkins, and he threw on the extra point or the 2-point conversion. a little while back, but he's going to run it. He gets the first down, and now he's got space down the sideline. And Elkins finally forced out of bounds there. Mergenhagen with the touchdown saving play, able to track him down. But Elkins taking that one inside the 5.
Did you see that? It was hiked to him, and he just stopped.
Yeah, that was everybody stopped.
He stopped, watched what happened, then cut to the outside, was the fastest man to the outside, and broke it out. But he literally just stopped and watched what was going on.
Yeah, it was interesting. I thought for a second there might have been a whistle that I didn't hear because he stopped and everybody stopped. And then he just kept going. But again, interesting play call, and it's positive. It works out.
And Elkins comes up big for Springville again.
And he's going to take the snap, going to hand it off to Longbine on 1st and goal. Longbine still on his feet, but now they'll blow the whistle as he was met by half the JFK defense there.
But Matt Mergenhagen, the first one to come in, number 8 right now, the first one to grab him as he gets help from his teammates to be able to hold serve, but he's the first one in on the tackle.
Well, the time is winding down here in the 3rd quarter. Springville in no rush to get this playoff. They'll change sides of the field as we go to the 4th quarter. Through 3 here, though, JFK on top 28-12. We'll take a quick break and be right back for 4th quarter action here on WNY Athletics.
At Chiro First Wellness, your health and well-being is our passion. Let us take care of you and your family like one of our own.
Chiro First Wellness Center is dedicated to providing patients long-term relief and teaching them how to continue taking care of themselves. With a blend of different techniques, services, and personalized treatment plans, we'll help you find wellness in a way that's right for you. Between chiropractic care, spinal decompression, nutritional counseling, massage therapy, custom orthotics, and more, your relief is in our hands. If twisting, popping, and cracking intimidate you, our Pro Adjuster restores the same range of motion as a physical adjustment would with gentle, repeated tapping.
Dr. Mo at Chiro First has been taking care of my back needs for the past 4 years. His staff treats you like family. I've had the traction, I've had the massage done, and every time leave here feeling fresh and brand new.
Chiro First Wellness Center. Your health and well-being. Our passion.
Welcome back to WNYathletics.com for the start of the 4th quarter between JFK and Springville. John Simon and Tom Prince here, coming to you live from Cheektowaga High School for the C Central matchup. And as we start the 4th here, JFK on top 28-12, but Springville with the ball and knocking on the door of the Bears goal line. 2nd and goal from the 7. It's a handoff to Baker. He runs his way through the middle and gets brought down a yard or 2 shy of the goal line. That'll bring up 3rd and goal here for the Griffins.
It looks like on the tackle right there was number 62, Jordan Gross, the senior defensive lineman.
And this is from the 1. It'll be a quick snap, and Springville.
Did the ball come out?
Signal yet?
No.
And it looks like we don't have a signal still. It must not have gotten in.
No, didn't get in, and he had the ball. It looked like the way the player rolled out over there.
Yeah, it was Orndorff that tried to sneak it in. Their quarterback stopped short. So that'll bring up 4th and goal from the 1. The biggest play of the game so far for Springville. We see Elkins at quarterback in that wildcat formation. He's going to take it himself, gets a tackler at the goal line trying to push through, and he's stopped. JFK's defense come up with a huge stuff at the goal line, and that will be a turnover on downs, and the Bears hold on to that 16-point lead.
Wow, they must have got down to the 1-inch line right there. It was that close right there into the end zone. The JFK defense comes up big.
I mean, and we've talked about, their offense, how explosive it is, and how Springville's goal at the beginning of the game was to keep the Bears offense off the field. But Tom, 3 turnovers tonight, 2 interceptions, a fumble. That basically a turnover there. The turnover on downs, the goal line stand. I mean, we got to give a ton of credit to this JFK defense, especially how they've responded after giving up, such a touchdown on a first drive, a long drawn-out first drive. And now the Bears offense going to start this possession from their own 4. And I think, they might be all right with that, Tom. As you said earlier in the 3rd quarter, the clock is the Bears' biggest friend right now, and they have a lot of field in front of them to use to try and kill some time.
Yep, but this has got to be a 3-and-out. If Springville's got any chance of doing anything, they need the field position and quick score to still get a chance to be in this game.
10:30 and counting to play in this one. It's going to be 2nd and 8. I don't really see how that works, but and they're going to hand it off to DePasquale. He might have gotten a yard there, but that will be it. So that'll be 3rd down. And JFK, like Tom said, just trying to avoid the 3-and-out. They'd be punting from the back of their own end zone here. This is a big 3rd and 6 for the Bears.
Big stop and possibly a big first down opportunity for JFK. So big both ways.
They got 2 receivers to the right of Lewandowski, and he's going to hand the ball off to Zeltman. He gets hit hard. We'll see where they spot him. Looks like he's about a yard or 2 short of the first down.
It looks like about 2 yards short.
Yeah, from the angle that I'm looking at here, I thought he was a little bit closer than where they're spotting him.
And look at where if you look at the 4th down marker right there, you can see that's almost even a little bit longer than 2 yards if you see it.
Yeah, so they're going to send Elkins back around the 40 to return this punt for Springville. Aramini going to be the punter for JFK. Gets a good snap, plenty of time to get this kickoff. It's going to land around the Bears 30 and take a nice bounce as they will down it.
He's pointing up. He wants, do you see that? Elkins is pointing up and saying hit him in the foot, and it looked like it did actually.
Yeah, it did look like it was close there, but the officials
didn't get it. He ain't going to sell it. So, but absolutely, he was doing the right thing there.
And it didn't take a huge bounce, but still favorable for JFK. It went another 5 to 7 yards, but Springville, pretty favorable spot. They're going to start this one at the Bears 43, but they got, they got to make things happen fast here, down 16 with 8:47 to go. 1st and 10. Orndorff rolling to his left. Doesn't see anyone to throw. Now dumps it away, and that one incomplete, but Tom almost picked off there by DePasquale. That was almost, close to the same play as the interception we saw back in the second quarter that was returned for a touchdown.
Yeah, I agree. Very similar. And Lucas Gang does a great job of being able to put some pressure on him to make him make that throw.
Yeah, Orndorff made the mistake earlier of just getting a throw off as he was getting tackled. They're facing pressure, and it ended up being picked off, ironically, by Gang in return for a touchdown. 2nd and 10 for the Griffins here. They hand it off to Baker. He tries to shift his way through the middle there, but again, Lucas Gang making plays. He gets the stop after a gain of about 4 or 5. We'll mark it as 3rd and 6, so it was a gain of 4. Springville at the JFK 39. Going to hand it off to Baker here again. Goes up the right side and gets brought down around the 35. We'll see how short they mark him of the first down here. Looks like he'll be about 2 yards short.
And comes up another big 4th down opportunity.
And we get a timeout called by Springville. They're going to talk over their strategy for this 4th down play.
So we've been talking a little bit about the Conley Cup. Let's talk about who those Conley Cup nominees were this past week. As Dalton Cadwell from Cassadaga Valley Falconer was recognized. Aiden Dempsey of Orchard Park, that we got a chance to see. If you remember, in the Bennett game, was phenomenal in that game. Nate Endall of Chautauqua Lake Westfield Brockton. Peril Folgnane of South Park, which we saw was really good in his game. Mitchell Holtz of Akron, also big baseball player right there. Loudon Mower of Cassadaga Valley Falconer. Zazan Manier of Southwestern. Steve Otremba Jr., the quarterback at St. Francis. Scott Raymond of Clarence. Clayton Rowland of Franklinville Ellicottville. Aiden Smith of Akron, and John Walters of Cleveland Hill.
So congratulations to all those Conley Cup nominees for this week. 4th and 2 here. Elkins on the run, and again, the Bears defense comes up with the big stop. And Tom, once again, we just see our guy Mike Zeltman, talking to Elkins, obviously giving him props, telling him, hey, man, you're playing a great game out here today, too. All respect to you.
12, Firkins comes up big there again. We've talked about him multiple times today. Firkins comes up big.
Yeah, had an interception in the first half, couple big tackles here in the second. Made a game-saving, or touchdown-saving tackle, I should say, a little while ago on the big run by Elkins back in the third quarter. But that gives JFK the ball with 7:48 to play, still up 16. Another score would likely be the final nail in the coffin, but even a solid drive with a good chunk of time taken off would be enough for the Bears. 1st and 10, hand off to Pace, and he's able to pick up a couple there, but we got some flags thrown.
Yeah, that tackle was up and around near the neck, so along like a horse collar type tackle right there.
You mentioned, St. Francis.
It was actually, they said he grabbed a face mask, so it was a face mask call.
So there we go. That'll certainly help the Bears offense. But you were talking about the Conley Cup nominees. St. Francis, huge win over St. Joe's last week.
Yeah, St. Joe's is definitely struggling a little bit this year. Not the same Joe's teams we've seen in the past.
They're in a transition. They got a new coaching
absolutely.
staff. They've had to deal with a few COVID pauses. Not that everybody else hasn't, but.
But listen, we're going to see that program turn around. They've got the right coach in place, and they're going to do something, that no doubt about it.
Yeah, and we know how talented this St. Francis team is. They've got a number of good players. Saw them really give it to Maritime a few weeks ago. 1st and 10 carry here for Pace, and he's got room to run. Takes that one for a first down and more, getting all the way inside the Springville 20.
Remember, Otremba is a sophomore quarterback, right? And this is his first year up at that level. And the first game he sees, we're going to throw Canisius at you right out of the gates, right? So, in other words, this kid has seen big competition already. Wait to see what the future looks like in St. Francis, especially with a sophomore quarterback right there.
Yeah, we've talked about, Otremba Jr. There's, who else? We got guy at Jamestown, Eli Drake. Another sophomore quarterback.
Jamestown, no doubt. I cannot wait to see this Jamestown-South Park matchup.
1st and 10 here. It's going to be another run for Elkins, although this one, a quiet one for his standards tonight. He's stopped for just a short gain.
And, yes, I'm sorry. I threw that out there. They need to win, though, and there are going to be games. As Will South is going down to Jamestown, watch out. Jamestown, do not underestimate this Will South team, because they will do damage, and they are capable of doing something big. And South Park, you've still got to do your job against Grand Island, and Grand Island will be ready right there too. So there's no doubt. I shouldn't assume that, but I'll tell you, when paper, those two teams matched up, it would just be a great matchup to see. Wish we would have seen it in the regular season even.
Yeah, well, Will South, they got a lot of speed. They're one of the few teams, I think, that has the best shot to hang with Jamestown when it comes to their team speed. 2nd and 8 run here. Again, it's Zeltman, and he takes this one inside the 5.
Is he going for the 4th?
He very well could be. Speaking of 4 touchdown games, you mentioned Will South. One guy that Jamestown's going to have to keep an eye on, Christian Dewar. Saw him last week against Sweet Home, had 4 touchdowns in a 52-34 win over the Panthers. Couple rushing, 1 receiving, 1 kick return. That's a guy that, like Jalen Butera, is kind of a, do-it-all guy for the Billies.
But both, when we talk about those teams, it's just Rojas, Butera, Drake. It's just one after another that you got to worry about in those teams.
1st and goal here from the 5 for JFK. Zeltman getting the touch. He'll take it in, and looks like he was brought down a yard short of the goal line. He stretched his arm out.
It looked like the stretch did, but was the knee down before the stretch happened was the question.
And I think that's what they ruled. The knee was down just before that ball crossed the plane, so it'll bring up 2nd and goal from the 1.
But they're doing exactly what they needed to. We see the clock ticking right here as it's now 5:22 left in this game.
As I mentioned, if JFK can hold on here, they'd improve to 3-2 on the season, 3-1 in the league. And it would certainly be a nice way for the Bears to cap off this season. It would be their 3rd straight win. And it would bring a lot of momentum for this group to take into the fall. 2nd and goal from the 1, inside 5 minutes to play now. Zeltman gets the carry, and he crosses the goal line for his 4th touchdown of the night. Michael Zeltman, being a good guy on the field and an even better guy on the stat sheet.
Like we talked about, right? He's saying is, you went over the Conley Cup names this week. I want my name entered in next week. If he hasn't been there already, there's no doubt we're going to see his name. He is showing exactly why he deserves to be there. And he's doing it on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
He's not only doing it with his runs. He has been big on the other side of the ball defensively, too.
So we'll get a 2-point conversion attempt here from JFK. They've been successful on 2 of them so far. And they're going to hand it to Zeltman. Little hesitation. Tries to get some space to the outside, and he goes down. But really, the Springville defender's taking the worst part of that hit. But again, the Springville defense able to at least limit the damage to 6 points. So it's 34-12 now in favor of JFK. A 22-point lead with 4:51 to play, and as I said, that is likely the last nail in the coffin. But Springville has shown some signs in this game that their offense can move the ball fast. But like I said earlier, they're going to really need to get something going here now if they want to stay in this one.
What are the positives, though, Springville takes away at this point? First of all, is you look at conference play right here. The only points in conference that JFK has given up was to Lackawanna, where they gave up 26 points. And here you've scored 12 points against them and had opportunities to be able to put up even more points. A interception at the 20-yard line and stopped at the 1.
Going to get a kick return here, and Elkins able to break through the middle. Another beautiful return for Alex Elkins. Takes it all the way to the JFK 42. You talk about a guy that isn't quitting at all in this one despite the scoreboard. Alex Elkins running this one all the way through to the end.
He's another one. Special teams that has done it. He's done it running the ball today. He's another one that I think absolutely needs to be recognized today as one of the players of the game.
Just crazy when you look at, this Springville this season. They've made a lot of improvements, but they've just run to a JFK team that came ready to play tonight. 1st and 10, another run up the middle for Colton Baker. Gets about 3 or 4 on that one. Got a huge win over Alden last week, their first of the season. And that'll certainly, give this young Springville team some momentum heading into the fall. And maybe a strong finish to this game despite not getting a win will do that too. 2nd and 7, Orndorff looking to throw, goes to the right side, and that one just over the head of his intended target. He was looking there for Devin Hitchcock.
And for Springville, they're going to be playing 3 games in 9 days. April 30th, they played Alden. Today, they've got JFK. And then on Saturday, they've got Gowanda.
Right. I should have said they can take the momentum into the final game of the season and then also into the fall. I forgot that they were playing that extra game against Gowanda. Always nice to see guys getting more games in. 3rd and 7 from the 39 of JFK. They're going to hand it to Baker again. Picks up a couple at the gut there, but is brought down a few yards short of the first down marker. Again, it's Zeltman in there for the tackle. He's a little slow to get up, Tom. I can imagine why. He's been involved in seemingly 2/3 of the plays in this game. Now I'll bring up 4th and 5. We got a timeout called by Springville before the play.
Let's tell everybody what our games are going to be for this week, right? We're going to be doing the playoff games, as many as we can. Friday, 4 games we've got. We will be covering Grand Island versus South Park at All High. We will be covering Will South at Jamestown. We'll be covering Eden versus Medina at Medina. And we'll be covering Olean versus Iroquois at Iroquois. Those are the 4 games we'll have on Friday. Saturday, we'll be taking the trip down to Clymer as CSP will be hosting Southwestern. And then on Sunday, our Mother's Day edition, we'll be down in Portville as Portville will take on Salamanca down in Portville. That's another team that has shown they could put up some big points, and it's a team we've yet to be able to see. So we're going to actually see for the first time we're going to be able to see CSP, Portville, Salamanca. Salamanca we've done against St. Mary's, but some teams we're going to get a chance to see for the first time.
Well, it'll surely be an exciting weekend of playoff football here in Section 6. As Tom said, we got 6 games between Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for you on WNY Athletics. 4th and 5 here for Springville. It's a sack, and the ball is loose. JFK picks it up. It's recovered by Eric Wagner. The ball was forced out by Matt Mergenhagen, who was able to get to the quarterback. And that is just the Bears defense coming up with another huge play in this one.
You should see them. We're probably going to just see them run the ball the rest of the way. The question is, will they be able to stop number 27 right there?
Yeah, I mean, right now the only thing for JFK is do we want to run the clock out or do we want to get Mike Zeltman?
I should say 22. I apologize. Not 27. 22. I apologize on that one.
Hey, everybody knows who you're referring to at this point. We've all been watching what's been unfolding here tonight. It's the Mike Zeltman coming out party here tonight. He's showing himself to be, one of JFK's best players and maybe, one of the top running backs from all of Class C to keep an eye on going into next season. Because he is only a junior. So Class C teams, you're going to see this guy in the Bears backfield next year. 1st and 10, it's going to be DePasquale on this carry, and he gets knocked down there after picking up a couple.
DePasquale, another junior, right?
Yeah, no, this JFK team, pretty young too. We were talking about, the number of juniors and sophomores, even the one freshman on Springville, but this Bears squad, they definitely got some youth on their side as well.
So clock's ticking, 3:15 and ticking right now, as it looks like JFK is going to come up with a win right here to bring their overall record to 3-2, league record 3-1.
Bad snap there, forcing Lewandowski to just fall on it, but I don't think JFK going to mind that too much. They'll bring up 3rd and 13, clock running with 2:50 to play. As Tom said, they're just trying to run this thing out and come out of this one with a victory. So Springville, as we mentioned, they'll play one more game on Saturday at home against Gowanda/Pine Valley. And JFK will wrap up their season here and improve to 3-2, and they'll end the season with a 3-game win streak. 3rd and 13, they're going to hand it off here to Pace. Tries to get some room on the right side. He does, gets forced out of bounds, I think just short of the first down marker, but he sure made things close there with that run. Picked up about 10. But that'll be 4th and 3 for JFK. If they can pick up this first down, it would seemingly end the game. They would just be able to kneel the rest of the clock out. It's going to be a direct snap to Zeltman. He pushes the line there and gets brought down right around the marker. We'll see where they spot him. And they say he's just short, so it'll be a turnover on downs. Springville going to get it back with 1:34 to go. So that's a nice feather in the cap for the Springville defense. They get a stop on what assumingly is their last time out there tonight. And this offense gets another chance to run something before we leave here. It was a quick start. They scored on their first drive, took off over 6.5 minutes of game time in the first quarter before going up 6-0. But ever since the middle of the second quarter, it's just been all Bears in this one. On a 34-6 scoring run since that first touchdown for Springville. 1st and 10. Orndorff trying to get away from pressure. Gets a nice block. And he's able to get a throwaway, and he connects. Elkins was open down the sideline. He gets tackled around the 35. So that's a spark that, is just a little too late for Springville, but still a nice play regardless.
That doesn't happen without that block right out there.
No, that was a huge block.
He gets sacked if it wasn't for that block right there. His offensive lineman comes up big.
Yeah, he was seeing a lot of pressure there from JFK's Eric Wagner, who recovered the fumble on the last drive for the Springville offense. They'll bring up 1st and 10 from the Bears' 39. Orndorff dropping back to pass again. Looks over the middle. That one incomplete. Stops it at 58 ticks left. You know, we talked about Springville. 1 game left on their schedule. They're a young team, and there's another football season coming right around the corner in the fall, so they can use this final drive and definitely build off of it for future games, whether they be next week or next season. Actually, it's really this weekend or next season. 2nd and 10, handoff here, and it's Baker. Picks up a first down. He's still on his feet and gets brought down inside the 20. That'll stop the clock momentarily. As we, of course, are inside a minute to play in this one. We, of course, will be back on Friday night with 4 Section 6 football playoff games. Hope you tune in on WNYathletics.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, whatever your preference is. We're happy to have you no matter what. Run there for Baker. Stop for no gain, and that'll be a Springville timeout. 43 seconds to play in this one.
Let's tell you that everybody real quick, some of the teams that are in the playoffs right now. In the AA conference, Lancaster 1 seed, Orchard Park 2. The Clarence will be the 3 seed, Bennett the 4 seed. In the A division, the 4 teams that qualify, Jamestown, which will be number 1. The number 2 seed will be South Park. The number 3 seed will be Grand Island. And the number 4 seed will be Will South. In B1, the 1 seed will go to, I think it's Maritime is the number 1. Iroquois is the number 2. Olean is the number 3. And West Seneca East is the number 4. In the C division, CSP gets number 1. Number 2 is Medina. Number 3 is Eden. And number 4 is Southwestern. Wait, no. Yes, I think that's how it went, yes.
2nd and 10 here. It's going to be a run for Longbine, and he gets a nice run up the right side and gets stopped inside the 5. But that's another nice carry for Nolan Longbine tonight, another junior in this game. We've talked about a lot of guys that'll be returning in the fall. He's one of them.
And in the D division, it's Franklinville, Ellicottville 1, Portville 2, Salamanca 3, and Randolph 4.
1st and goal here for Springville from the 5. And back to passes, boys. Escapes pressure, lets go of one, and it's off the hands of his receiver, incomplete. Was looking in the back of the end zone there, but couldn't connect. He'll bring up 2nd and goal from the 5, just 8 seconds left. So Tom going through all those big playoff matchups. Starts on Friday, ends next Saturday.
Or Sunday, because
we've seen
some go to Sunday.
Right,
so.
Of course. So 2nd and goal. Boys pass over the middle again, incomplete. Was looking there. Believe that was Longbine, his intended receiver. Just 4 seconds left now in this one. Springville just trying to end this on a positive note. JFK is locked up this 34-12 win. But the Griffins just wanting to get one more good play here, or maybe some points before the clock hits 0. Shotgun snap, hand off to Baker, and he's going to go to the left side and be stuffed, and that is how this one is going to end. JFK improves to 3-2 with a 34-12 win over Springville. The Griffins drop to 1-5, but they will look to get back on the winning track on Saturday. But strong end to the season for JFK, Tom. This is a lot of momentum that they'll take into the fall.
Yep, strong end of the season, no doubt about it. I think Springville right now is showing the youth is here. They're getting some experience. Watch out, the future looks bright.
Well, you know, we don't do a player of the game every game, but you know what? We do have to mention Mike Zeltman one more time. 4 touchdowns tonight for JFK, all on the ground. You know, he was a leader on the field tonight, you know, with play and with his attitude and sportsmanship. We got to applaud him and all the guys for that. just a great all-around game for him and the Bears. And, it was a good one. 34-12 win. That'll do it for us tonight. Big thanks to Russ Battaglia, our cameraman. For Tom Prince, I'm John Simon. Thank you for tuning in. We hope to see you guys Friday night as the Section 6 football playoffs get underway. We'll see you then right here on WNY Athletics.